Good afternoon, everyone. All 6 of us. Anyway, I'm sure others will trickle in here. Thank you for joining us today. I want to start with a bit of a story. A car came careening down the highway, jumped a curve, and careened right into a McDonald's restaurant. Thank goodness no one was hurt, but it destroyed this restaurant. The building, after the dust cleared, they were told that it was going to take 3 to 4 weeks to get everything squared away, get it cleaned up, and then so they'd be back in business. Till then, the restaurant was shut down. As you can imagine, the franchise owner of this McDonald's was beside himself. How was he supposed to make money during this time down? And how was he supposed to pay his workers and all the other bills that he has coming in? He got a hold of State Farm, who was the insurance company for the car's owner. State Farm, after a long shuffle of papers, said they were liable, and they agreed to pay for not only his repairs, but his downtime, that lost income, that, or some people call it loss of use or business interruption expense. So, let's see. I'm supposed to be doing a clicker here. Let's see. All right. Thank you, Brenda. There's McDonald's. Okay. Now, this claim, the McDonald's claim, involved a brick and mortar business. Everyone understands when a business is shut down that they cannot operate. But what about trucks? When a truck has been hit, it has downtime too. Doesn't matter that it's on wheels. It is the same thing. Businesses have downtime or lost income also. My name is Kelsea Eckert. I'm an attorney with Eckert and Associates. We're a law firm based right outside of Jacksonville, Florida. We handle downtime claims and other traffic-related accidents all across the country. We work mostly with small businesses, small owner-operators, small fleets, and we have a few larger fleets as well. So, this will be quick. Let's meet the audience. So could I have a show of hands for the owner-operators in the audience? Okay. All right. And any fleet owners? Okay. And how about safety managers, insurance folks, other people in the industry, transportation? Thank you. All right. Any lawyers? Okay, good. All right. All right. So when an accident is not your fault, you really do need to use your own devices to get your attention, to get the attention of the other side. Whether you're a claims manager or a fleet owner or an owner-operator, this is up to you. So when an accident is someone else's fault, you should not be responsible for all of that repair cost and the downtime that happens. So the truth about insurance is that insurance companies don't want to properly compensate you. They're in business to stay in business, and if they keep most of that claims money, they are able to pay better profits to their shareholders. So you are in business as well, and they should compensate you properly. So we'd like to talk to you today about how to get paid for your downtime. Okay, so to help everyone understand the steps, I'd like to quickly run through the process of a claim. But to do so, I'm going to need a bit of help from the audience. I'm going to need 4 brave souls to join me here at the front. So, let's see what we've got here. I am in need first of, let's see, well, let me go to my bag of tricks over here. I'm going to be the director, and you guys will be either the audience or the folks helping with the case. All right. All right. Who is ready for the show? All right, I am in need of an owner-operator. Do I have a volunteer of someone that would like to be the owner-operator? It's a very easy job. Gentlemen, yes, who's coming down the audience? All right, sir. All right, come on up. Let's see, Brenda, we're going to need some microphones. All right, come on up, sir. All right. All right, here is your hat. And here is your owner-operator shirt. Recently laundered. Uh-huh. All right. And here is your part, and you will be given a microphone. All right. All right. And if you'd like to stand. Yeah, right there is good. All right. And then I am going to need an insurance adjuster. Who would like to be the insurance adjuster? One of the folks in the back? Okay, come on up. We're going to need 4 people total. All right, my dear, if you will don the tie. Oops, excuse me. All right, and here is your insurance adjuster folder with your script. All right, come right over here. You are the insurance adjuster for this lovely owner-operator. All right, then I need another insurance adjuster. All right. Oops. Caught. Let's see. Brenda, would you like to be the insurance adjuster? Okay. And then all right. And lastly, I'm going to need someone to be the drunk derby lady. The gentleman from the Kentucky Trucking Association is looking very fit for this job. Oh, well, things are falling apart. Well, you know. And here's your bottle. Yep, yep. Okay, so come right on over here. Linda, you can come on over here as well.
You have a script or
Oh, here's your script. Okay, there we go. All right. you. Ready? Okay, so you don't have to have it memorized. This is just off the cuff. And action.
Turn.
Yes.
Should I just read it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm a sweet, innocent owner. I was hit by a drunk lady. Sorry. Drunk lady who was just leaving Kentucky Derby. She had way too much to drink. I'm okay, but my truck has a damaged $10,000. The woman denied everything, but I got all on a dash camera. I called my insurance company to ask what should I do next.
Okay. One, you can file a claim with me. I'll get your truck fixed pretty quickly, but you have to pay your $1,000 deductible. So I'll pay $9,000 to the body shop, and you'll pay $1,000. Unfortunately, I can't pay for the rental or for your downtime because you didn't pay that coverage. Two, you can file a claim. The Derby Lady Insurance Company, hopefully they will agree she was at fault. If they do, they should pay for your repairs, your out-of-pocket expenses, and downtime. If they handle the claim, you won't have a deductible and you shouldn't have a claim on your policy. Three, you can pay for the repairs yourself and go after Derby's Ladies Insurance Company for reimbursement.
Well, don't expect any money from me. You have to file a claim with me, but our insured claims innocence. She was not guilty, so we're not accepting any liability and not paying anything.
Looks sad. Yep. I could see the written on the wall. I couldn't afford to pay the repairs myself. And I didn't claim to my insurance record, but after several calls, I could tell the other side I wasn't changing their mind. They were going to delay things. I needed to get back on the road. I finally decided to file a claim with my own insurance company. They sent adjuster us out, and I got my truck in the shop within a week. The parts were on back order. It took a couple more weeks to get them in the back, all the repairs done. Thanks goodness. After 3 weeks, the repairs were done, and my insurance company paid the mechanics $9,000. I paid the mechanics $1,000 because of all my deductible, and I got back on the road because of all my downtime on the truck. I lost $15,000 in income. It's a lot of money.
Our insured, this fine-looking owner-operator, wanted us to pay him $15,000 in lost income for the 3 weeks the truck was down. Unfortunately, he didn't buy this coverage. Since I wasn't in the policy, I couldn't pay it. I suggest he ask the Derby lady in her insurance company to pay it.
I'm not at fault. That big truck just jumped into my lane. And besides, I don't have time for such foolishness. Go talk to my insurance company.
Sorry, but we won't pay any claims until liability of our driver is proven.
After we paid for the repairs, we sent this claim to our subrogation department. Subrogation is a big word meaning reimbursement. We wanted the Derby Ladies Insurance Company to reimburse us for the money we paid out because this accident wasn't our owner's operator's fault. We showed them the dash cam and the citation issued on the police report. We took a record statement from a bystander saying it was the Derby's lady's fault. We showed all of this evidence to the other company, insurance company. They finally agreed to liability. Then they reimbursed us for the $9,000 we paid for the repairs. They even paid our insured $1,000 deductible.
I'm a drug driver, not an insurance adjuster. I know how to run my business, but I'm not an expert on insurance claims. I went to my insurance agents and a motor carrier for guidance. I also talked with my broker, accountant, and the lawyer. With this helpful information, I filed a claim with other side of my downtime. In my claim, I asked for my $15,000 loss in income plus out-of-pocket expenses like hotel bills and flight home. That thereby by Lady Insurance Company was agreeable to pay paying my out-of-pocket expenses, but I did not want to pay the downtime. They also ask for the way too much personal information like my taxes. Why will I have to give them this information? Anyways, I give it to them as well, a lot of more. After months back and forth, I finally got them agreed for a reasonable amount.
Well, that's it. That's interesting, darling. Said, how did you get them to pay your downtime?
I give them everything they ask, including the settlement sheets and proof of loss, loads. Once I approved how much I could have made, I also had proof mitigated my damage. The funds word saying I did everything I could make my losses as small as possible. Well, thanks the good Lord above, they finally believe me.
Every claim has two steps. The first step is proving liability, which your insurance company did on your behalf. Your insurance company proved to us that our own driver was at fault. The second step is proving damages, or how much money you've lost. Now that you've proven how much downtime we owe you, here is your settlement money.
Thank you so much. I open envelope with a smile. Well, how about that? Shall I just read it?
Throw the money up.
Oh, how about that? Oh, we get the money. Throw it. Okay. 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 Oh, I finally got my money. Ooh, insurance.
Anyway, thank you to our fine actors here. Appreciate their dressing up and being part of something at the last minute. Thank you. Brenda will help you undress. Now that we may understand a little bit more about the general flow of a claim, let's talk about how you manage the process rather than letting the process manage you. Again, thank you to our actors today. Okay. I'm not sure where. Point it back this way. Sorry. Well, anyway, it's not working, but I will leave that with Brenda again. And we can move on. Thank you. All right, leave it to the experts. So first of all, know your strengths and weaknesses. While I'm an attorney, I have no idea how to back up a big rig to a warehouse. So I'm going to leave that to the experts. If you need help with the claims process, get with the experts, whether it's your attorney, accountant, insurance agent, someone that knows what they're doing. I'd like to tell you a little story about a guy named Paul. Paul owns a small fleet of about 10 trucks. He drives one of them and has drivers for each of them. One night earlier this year, he was in his bunk at a truck stop, asleep, when all of a sudden he heard a thunk. Anyway, some guy named Dave had just run over the hood of his truck. Dave took off, didn't even really know that he hit him, he says. And so Paul, fortunately, grabbed his pants and got up and quick enough to find out who was doing this. He called 911, and the cops got him a couple of miles down the road. But Paul was so mad about Dave, number one, hitting the truck, but then two, taking off without even caring about what the damage that he may have incurred. And so Paul, he got a hold of Dave's insurance information, and that insurance agent listened to Paul as Paul would say over and over again how Paul was so frustrated by this. Anyway, the insurance adjuster had already admitted liability, and so Paul needed to get off of the frustration part about liability and move on to what's called the damages part. Every case has two steps. The first step is proving liability, proving that the other guy is at fault. And once that's happened, the insurance adjuster is going to want to move on to the second step, and that's talking about money or how much you're out. So, but Paul was, even though he was the victim, it's his job to what's called mitigate your losses, make your losses as small as possible. But what he told the adjuster on the other side is, I'm the victim here. Why should I have to go rent something? And he would say that over and over again. And of course, the insurance adjuster had all that on a recording. And so they were able to use that against him, that he did not try to make his losses smaller by even at least trying to rent something. So if you are in the insurance industry, you should certainly encourage your insureds, your owner-operators, to not say anything like that if they are working with the other side. It harms the case. So just, let's see. So as for the insurance managers, I would say just be the hero for your clients. Let them know what they should do. Have a list of what to do at an accident site. We actually have one on our blog of what to do after an accident. And so one of the best suggestions that we have for owner-operators and small fleets is just make sure that you keep a written record of everything, not just at the accident site, but afterwards while you are trying to get everything back up and going. So, we mentioned the word mitigation a couple of times. So what is mitigation? Mitigation just means making your claim as small as possible. So, if you have the ability to rent something while your truck is down, you should do so. If you have the ability perhaps to co-drive or to borrow something from your motor carrier, do that. It will show the other side that you have met your legal requirement to mitigate your losses. Now, one thing that is very important to do that a lot of our clients forget to do is to write everything down. So, if you go to a rental agency, Ryder, and say, do you have a car carrier? Well, I mean, first of all, you're probably not even going to call because you know they don't. But it is very important to document, because that insurance adjuster has no idea that car carriers are not easily rented. They are thinking that it's probably like an Alamo rental car where you can just go over there and get another car. So you're going to have to show that your specialty equipment could not be rented. And that's not just your words, because that will be considered hearsay and not helpful. You need to get something in writing from a third party saying that they don't have anything available. So for example, if you were to call Penske and ask if they have a car carrier and they say no, then you might ask them, can they email something to you? Or what's your email address? I will email you with this question, would you please respond? And so it's really important to have documented third-party information that you can prove your case, because that insurance agent on the other side, they may not know the trucking industry. If it has to go all the way to litigation, that judge down the way may have no idea. about trucking either. So what if you can't mitigate? What if there are no rentals, like these days, it's very hard to find a rental, or you have the specialty equipment, or if your motor carrier doesn't allow for rentals. Again, this is, state law may vary some on this topic, and just a caveat, today, although I'm an attorney, I'm not your attorney under contract, and so this is not going to be legal advice today. This is just entertainment. So, while different states vary on the topic, almost everyone says that you must at least try to mitigate. Okay, so there are, of course, different types of trucks and trailers that can't be rented, and again, putting that proof for the other side is really important. The law of mitigation only says that you have to try. It doesn't have to. You don't have to be successful in mitigation. So it's all very much in the details. Most of the folks, like I said, want to focus on the details of the accident, but once that has been proven that the other guy's at fault, move on. You're not going to be able to win or get your money until you also prove your damages, prove how much you're out. So, the law is not always fair. I tell my clients this, that they are clearly the victims, but unfortunately, the law in most states does not allow for those extras. While the law does allow in most states to fix your truck or to reimburse you for a totaled trailer, say, and also to pay for your downtime, your lost income due to the accident, and also your hotel or any other out-of-pockets, they're not going to pay things like the interest or your attorney's fees in most cases, or your some kind of other penalty like intentional infliction of emotional distress. Unfortunately, these are property damage cases, and they're not exactly like personal injury cases where you hear of these giant awards for things. So anyway, if you cannot get the other side to agree to your demands, then there's always litigation. Where do you have to file suit? Often in the state where the accident happened. We also do mechanical negligence cases, and where do you go after a bad mechanic? That's usually in the location where that incident happened as well. So there are a number of other types of claims that you may have a valid claim over: mechanical, totaled vehicles, breach of contract, small claims, cargo, and deductibles. You might have a broken wrist from the accident where you might have a claim for that as well. So as far as the negligence of mechanical types of cases, Brenda, the next page. Or not. Anyway, okay. An oil plug. It's a small device, but it is extremely important. And so occasionally mechanics fail to put the plug back in properly after an oil change. So as you know, going down the road with no oil can cause significant damage to an engine. So we have had quite a few cases in our office like this. So where a client, let's say his name was Joe, he has a small fleet, and one of his trucks went into a local truck stop here on the highway. The mechanic did the oil change but failed to quite put that in. Joe drove off, and $50,000 engine repair later. So unfortunately, that mechanic shop, that truck stop that did the oil change, did not agree that it was their fault. And so it is up to Joe to prove that it was their fault. And that is sometimes with If Joe then is towed to another repair shop, it may be that repair shop who needs to document everything, taking photos of things, saving the ruined equipment, and really documenting the fact that it was that other oil change that did this to this truck. And so when a mechanic messes up your equipment, you have rights to get that equipment fixed and your lost income because of those accidents, because of that incident. All right, so the trickiest thing on the mechanics is proving liability. You know, a car crash, pretty easy to usually see. There's a police report. The mechanics are a little tougher. You might need a insurance adjuster or a guy that does heavy equipment, that does heavy equipment to write a report. We have folks like that in our office that we can help you with there. Okay, so on mechanic things, one little caveat is a lot of these shops, mechanic shops, will have fine print on the front or the back of their paperwork. Sometimes it says they don't have to pay for downtime. Sometimes it says that like usually, let's say it's a state where you have 4 years to go after someone, they may have fine print that says you only have 6 months. So you want to read all that fine print, and if possible, cross it out and put your initials next to it. And that can save you from a negligent mechanic. So anyway, that is it. Be the hero for your business. As a small business owner, you're the guy or gal that keeps things running. And so make sure that you prove the liability when something happens so that you can then back it up and prove your damages and get your downtime loss of use back. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got paid, and we were still minus about $20,000, not counting the downtime of the truck.
Yes.
What are our alternatives at this point?
That's almost a two-part question
Yeah.
there. So number one, I encourage everyone to go and talk to your insurance agent about the proper value of your equipment, because things are skyrocketing right now. And we have someone that calls probably every other day whose equipment used to be worth 50 and now it's worth 80 or something like that. And so number one, get that valuation done, because that difference is not usually that much money. And so you at least have that. Now, as far as there was another party that was at fault, and so you can certainly go through your own insurance company. The risk of that is you have something, a ding on your insurance record of some sort, and hopefully you don't have anything else, because you know these people like to raise your rates now. But anyway, you did what you needed to do to mitigate your damages to get that truck fixed and back on the road, or I'm sorry, totaled. So you got your money, and now you're looking for something else, I would imagine. So we go back after the bad driver for the difference. You were paid 50 from your own, we'll go after the other part, in addition to the downtime and any other out-of-pocket expenses that you had, any towing that wasn't paid for, hotels, etc., all of that. So you do have rights, except in Michigan. It's really tough in Michigan. Hope it wasn't in Michigan. And certain states, well, every state has what's called a statute of limitation. You only have a certain amount of time to file suit. In our office, we try to get things wrapped up quickly so we don't have to file suit. But if it happens in, say, Louisiana, that's a one-year statute. So you got to really move along in that state. Most states are something a little more than that. So Yes, you have absolute rights. Make sure you get the insurance company from the other side and then show them what you were paid versus the value of that. So you may have to go get a valuation of your equipment. Maybe your insurance company already did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, is this something your office can handle, the rest of it?
absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So the way we work is free consultation, and then we work on a percentage of what we collect.
Okay.
So, for example, if it's without litigation, it would be 2/3 for the client, 1/3 for the office. If it has to go to litigation, then it goes up 6-point-something% to 40% because we work with a local attorney in that state where the accident happened. Mhm. Yeah. Happy to talk to you next week if you have some time. Okay. Yes.
For 3 months. And they're saying that I have to wait for the person that was at fault for their limitations. They can't pay out because there was 4 different vehicles involved. So I have to wait for them to figure out how much of the limitations they have.
Mm-hmm.
What options do I have?
Yeah, these are tough cases because there's so many people out there on the roads that don't have a lot of insurance. They might have 25,000, a car might have 25,000 insurance and then hits four vehicles. There's no way everybody is going to be made whole there. So you have, the possibility is 1, to wait, or 2, to go ahead and file suit against that other driver. That driver's insurance company is probably going to wait for all claims to come in before they start issuing any checks, and they won't issue a check until everyone signs a release that you won't go after their insured. So, it certainly depends on the situation. Have you filed a claim with your own insurance company yet?
My insurance already took care of my vehicle. It's already fixed and it's back on the road.
Great.
But we were out 3 months
Yes.
for that vehicle not being on the road, so I had to give him another vehicle so that he can drive. So that vehicle that I gave him, that driver, was
Yes.
down.
You're down
So-
1 vehicle.
Right.
Mhm.
So now I have that driver not working and the driver that was in the accident actually working.
Got it.
But it was a farmer with
Okay.
I would say it was a personal vehicle with it was a pig hauler. So
Okay.
he had pigs in the trailer. He ran into a lady behind my driver, and then that lady ran into the back of my driver's trailer, and then my driver was parked with the brakes set and was pushed 10 feet forward into another driver.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
I have 3 people that
Yes.
have to be paid before,
Yes.
the downtime, but I'm just
Well,
trying to figure out if I should go ahead and file a suit against that driver or against the actual farmer.
well, you might want to do an asset check to find out how much that farmer has.
We're still trying to figure that out. My insurance company is still trying to figure out
Okay.
what his limitations are, and we haven't
Well-
heard anything, and it's already been like I said, 7 months now. 6
So
months.
let's say the farmer had $100,000 on his vehicle, but he has a farm over here that's worth $500,000. You do not have to accept the limits on
Okay.
that. You can say, I'm not taking that, I'm going to sue the farmer, and once you get a judgment, then work on going after some of those assets if you can.
Okay, because that means, like I said, my truck has been fixed from my own insurance, so it's a
Yes.
ding on my insurance, but that's fine because I needed the vehicle running.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'd still be waiting because I haven't heard anything from their insurance yet.
You mitigated your damages.
So I already gave him another vehicle to go ahead and go with, but
Yes.
but I'm still waiting for them to try and
Right.
come up with something. And I send emails. I don't call because they don't answer phones. So I send emails every month asking them,
What insurance company is it?
Progressive. So, I mean, I have insurance with OIDA, and OIDA paid for mine.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
Progressive is the
the other
farmer's
farmer's
insurance. But I mean, the lady that was behind me, God rest her soul, she is perfectly fine. She had only a couple of scratches and some bruises, and I don't know how she got out of that, but the Lord was with her that day.
That's wonderful.
She
That is wonderful.
had no fatalities in this accident. And
That's
if you would have
great.
seen the vehicle, it
Yes.
looked like there would
What a
be a
blessing.
fatality. But,
Well, just make sure that you calculate your claim, your downtime claim as high as possible, because if there's a pie, you want the biggest piece of pie that you can get.
I did. I mean, the amount that the driver actually drove that day, you know, another driver could have made exactly the same amount of money. So I just took
Yeah.
all of his settlements and sent it in saying that he could have made this much money on another truck.
Great.
So,
Very good. Very good.
okay.
Good for you.
Just making sure I did
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Yes. Although you don't have to dial the E. It is one number too long, but that may be down Tim, and that doesn't look quite. Thank you. Yes.
Hi. Yeah, I had another truck hit me when I was in a dock. It took my door off. My neighbor was kind enough to loan me a truck so I could deliver the load that I had on. I had already booked the load after that one, but my door was taken off the truck, so I couldn't go do that one, and I couldn't do it at day cab because it was a long haul load, so I had to fall off that load. I asked the company, now they admitted their driver did it, they had no problem admitting that, but they said they don't pay downtime. And
I hear that a lot.
I asked them, I said, and I didn't ask them, I ended up, I took the truck to the dealer. They took a door off another truck that didn't fit right, but actually at least I had a door. So I was only down a couple days till they did that, so I was able to keep working, okay? But then I had to come back, take the truck down again to have the right door put on it, and then down again to have it painted. And all I asked this company for was the day that I could show that I lost this load. I didn't ask them for any more than that, and they don't even want to pay that.
Wow.
I did immediately try to rent a truck, and I called 3 different places. Only one of them said I could even, because I've only had my authority a short time, only one of them were willing to even loan me a truck or rent me a truck if they had one. None of them had them, okay? And even if they did have a truck, they said the process of getting the truck would take 2 days, so I still would have lost the load that I was booked,
That's right.
had already booked. So, for one, is it too late? Because I didn't have anything in writing that said that they didn't have any trucks. It was just me calling, and I'm still trying to get money out of this company. Does it sound? I'm going to have to get a lawyer apparently, or.
All right, so it sounds like you did everything right. You made temporary repairs so that you can keep moving. And then, so again, you mitigated your damages. I mean, that's what I love about our clients. Our clients are small business people. They want to keep the business going because once you're not rolling, those expenses keep going and you can get upside down very quickly. So you did the right thing. And so I would say in almost every state, you do have right to downtime. You also, because you lost the load, you may want to go after the lost load instead. Most folks, when they're down for a period of time and they don't know all of the loads that they've lost. There are those dedicated runs, and maybe 2% of the people out there know what exact loads they lost. But most people are going from load to load, and on load boards, et cetera. So we have to look at a history of what you were making beforehand and do some kind of average there and make the demand that way. So, so if you know the actual loads, maybe you dance around those words. Okay, I don't need downtime. I need lost loads. Do you pay for that? And if they don't, give me a call, and we'll be happy to.
Well, that's what I sent them. I sent them the confirmation of the load that I had booked, and they said, "Tough. We don't pay for that." They said,
and that gets a lot of people. that encourages a lot of people to just.
And they're self-insured. I don't know if that matters, but
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, these are battles that we fight. The self-insured trucking companies sit very tight on their wallets, that's for sure.
so lawyer it is. Because I think that's what they're counting on, that I won't get a lawyer. I don't think they understand that I'd rather have less money and justice than,
There you go.
you know.
Right.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. Well, thank you. As far as I know, we're the only law firm doing this type of work on a nationwide basis. My dad is an attorney. I grew up in a small town. Everyone seemed to want to bash lawyers, although they loved my dad, so I couldn't understand why people didn't like lawyers. But then I went to the big city, and you know, there's a lot of lawyers out there that make us look a little, well, not as honorable. Just like, yeah, exactly. They're truckers. So anyway, we've got, so Brenda and I both have a scanning device. We're giving away a couple of headsets at our booth, but we can scan you here. We also have some paperwork on our firm over there. So if we scan your badge, we're giving away a couple of these. It's going to be in the next day or two. Brenda will be drawing a couple names, and then we'll call you with the winners there. So anyway, thank you all very much. I appreciate you coming out.